Hello, Nibber. This is Novels and Bits podcast, and I am your favorite host, Chizoba Katie. How are we doing? Happy New Year! This is the first time in my life I am hyped for a new year, honestly. This is 2025, and I am so hyped. I can't believe it. If it's not supplied by God, no one else. This is the very last part of the story we've been doing. This could be us. I am so freaking tempted because of how short this episode is to add the next story we're going to do into this one because the next story is ready. I'm just excited that it's ready. And I'm going to start preparing new stories starting this week. Okay, so please look forward to a lot of good stories this year. If you have liked any story we've done at all, you better follow us bomba to bomba because there'll be much more where that came from this year. You understand? Okay, let's take off. Now, in the last episode, we had it that Judah wanted to call Soledad, but she called him instead on the phone. They were now talking. Judah learned of the friction between Soledad and her daughters because Soledad had this confrontation sort of with her middle daughter Inez, who was accusing her that she's dating the man that put her father in prison. As per Soledad is dating Judah, who puts Soledad's ex-husband Edward in prison. So Soledad had to correct her daughter that nobody put your father in prison. Your father did that to himself. And I like Judah. You understand? She was very that point blank with her daughters. But when she's talking to Judah about it, he's now saying that because Soledad is not even ready to be in a committed relationship. And he too, he's someone that is a committed kind of guy. And he had already downplayed himself by doing this thing with Soledad. This whatever thing they did, you understand? So he just tells her, see, just take your time, do what you have to do. Like all these years, even before he came around, I was by myself, Abby. So take your time, do what you do. Whenever you're ready, I'm still here. And she feels terrible because she kind of feels she's doing the right thing, building herself and trying not to lose herself in this man. But at the same time, she's now trying and wondering to herself, when will it be good enough? When would I have built myself enough to know that, okay, I can accommodate somebody now? Do you understand? So that's the place we left off in the last episode. And Soledad was able to go sort through her mother's things at her childhood home. And she saw some of her mom's journals, and it kind of gave her a perspective on things. All right, so let's continue now to today's episode and let's finish it. Let's finish the story in the next 10, 15 minutes. Let's be done. Now, Dolores Callahan comes to see Judah at the office. Dolores is a daughter of the owner of Calpot, like Judah's boss. His daughter is Dolores, and Dolores works in Calpot. So she comes to see Judah at the office. She has big news. Judah is not in the mood because, now, since the whole call with Soledad, he's been kind of being in a sour mood. But he's the only one in the office who notices something about Dolores' face that is different. You get, Dolores had did something fresh on her body, on her face, but nobody noticed it. It's just Judah. So in as much as he's in a sour mood, he still looks at her like something is different about it. He's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't want that notice. So Dolores now tells her, it's the eyebrows. So Soledad actually recommended a place for me. It's lovely, Abby. So the way that Soledad's name comes up randomly and Judah is still staring over her, he wants to just throw away his face. He has not watched Soledad in 2 weeks. He has not gone on her social media, texted her, called her. He's just been like, I need to push this woman from my system. He's going through withdrawal symptoms, apparently. When you're addicted to a drug or used to something and you have to go without them, it's like, God, this is painful. That's why he's in a sour mood. Anyhow, the big news that Dolores came to share with Judah is that Edward, that Soledad's ex-husband that stole a lot of money from this company, he's getting out from prison early. So look at the explanation. He's a first offender white male who committed a white-collar crime and cooperated with authorities. And at this point, Dolores' father, that owns the cowpot, doesn't even care anymore to hold Edward in prison. It's just like, I retrieved the money I was able to retrieve. Edward can go back. I don't have his power. So the FBI informed Dolores' father, and her father informed Dolores, and now Dolores is informing Judah. It's a heads up. Dolores doesn't want Judah to be caught off guard. You get by Edward coming out of prison. So after Dolores leaves, and a panicked Tremaine calls Judah that something is up. Adam had a seizure and hit his head hard. You remember Adam? Adam is a son that he's more stable than his brother when it comes to autism. You get as per He can go to school, he can relate with people, but often he still needs as much care as his brother, who is much more withdrawn and attends a special school for children with special needs. Adam goes to normal school, but when he comes home, he still gets special attention. But Adam has one issue. He can have seizures, die. You get, and in some of those seizures, if it's just sparks uncontrollably, he can hit his head. At this moment, they are trying new drugs for him. Oh, his grandma, that is Judah's mother, being a nurse, recommended a new set of drugs that it currently has been into research, and said let them just try those that mean medication on Adam and see if it's working. But apparently, it's not doing so much if he's having a seizure, or maybe it's working. But now, all these things. The point is just that Adam has a seizure and he hit his head hard. He had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Tremaine is now calling him. She's panicked. So Judah flies out of the office to be at his son's side. Meanwhile, Hendrix has been planning something big for Soledad, and she's now sharing the news with Soledad. She now asks Soledad, have you heard of Haven? Soledad tells her, of course. The lifestyle brand by Sophie Baston Bishop, really high end, right? Fashion, home, wellness. I used to love her stuff when I could afford it. Hendrix now asks Soledad, what if her stuff becomes your stuff? Apparently, this Sophie high-end lifestyle person has been looking for a business partner for a budget-friendly side of her business. And she's been following Soledad's progress, things that her and Soledad will work great together. And this same Sophie knows everything about Soledad, though, including her ex-husband's saga, and still wants to work with her. When God wants to bless you, he'll just embarrass those. So Hendrix is now telling Soledad, this might be your precursor to your own lifestyle brand. Soledad is like, whoa, Hen, this is big. But she's not jumping up and down in excitement. Yeah. Hendrix is now looking at her. I'm about to make you the mogul mama. Seems like you could be a little happier, actually. I expected through the roof. The reason why Soledad cannot bring herself to be so excited is that same Judah situation. It now takes Hendrix listing all the ways that Judah is a saint and nothing like Edward. I don't know what you're afraid of. This guy has not shown any sign that he is like your narcissistic ex-husband. Judah stayed home for his kids, supported his kids' mama to have a career. He read all about love to understand soul better. What has this man not done so that you can see that he's not your ex-husband? You can get. So Hendrix is now telling Soledad, it sounds to me like the universe delivered exactly the right one. Someone who has seen the whole of your journey, watched you grow, understands your fears, your reservations, your boundaries, and accepts them all. So Soledad now answers, yes, so right. And it's like every time I raise a bar for what I should expect from a partner, Judah clears it easily. I've learned that revealing yourself to your partner should bring healing, not harm. That a true intimate relationship is a safe place with no facades, a space where you can be wholly yourself. I have that with Judah. Hendrix now tells Soledad, then don't throw it that way. Give it a chance. Give yourself a chance. Inez and Lottie returned from school. Inez is the one self that informed Soledad the ambulance came to school for Adam Cross, who was still unconscious the last she had. All the care Judah showed for Soledad in the past, bringing the groceries, how he would call, everything just washes over soul. She does not even care that everybody's going to say, hey, you're rushing to Judah's side. You should not be seen with Judah in public. All those reservations just flies out of her head. All she's just thinking about is, I need to be there for him. So she's hovering to change into slippers, wear proper clothes so that she can run out. Surprisingly, Inez is even the one that now apologizes for before. So Dad kisses her and rushes off. At the hospital, Judah and Tremaine, they're relieved when the doctor announces that there's no more complications, that Adam will be fine. Tremaine wants to stay over with Adam at the hospital. She's feeling guilty that I knew that he was on new medications. I should have been around more. I should have asked them to keep an eye on him more. Those type of things. Judah has to tell her, see, you're an amazing mother. A neighbor currently is home with Aaron. He's at home. Judah turns the corner to the elevator and then he finds Soledad in the waiting room. Both of them are awkward. Tremaine gives them space. Now, once Soledad confirms that Adam is fine, she thinks, okay, well, now I have to go. He offers to walk her to her car. Now, they're waiting for the elevator. It's only one floor down, so they decide to take the stairs. He joins her. But right there in the staircase, that kind of thing that these two people have not seen each other in going to 3 weeks. They've been starved of each other. It's that spark. They don't even know who moved first. And it's so funny that it's even tiny Soledad, that's the person that pushes Judah up against the staircase door there. And, it's this whole desire, longing, desperation. And then there's this full-on makeout section. As usual, it's Judah that puts it to an end when he remembers that, see, I cannot be kissing you when nothing has still changed between us. Yes, you came to me to the hospital, but I cannot come and press play. It's not like the issue has been solved. You still don't want us to go out in public. I cannot deal with that arrangement thing anymore. You understand? He does not want to settle. So the dad now calls Judah's name. He's now forced to meet her eyes. So the dad now tells Judah, once Adam is feeling better, I thought maybe you could come over for dinner, you and the boys. That's when, it dawns on Judah that this is actually her saying, I'm not settling either. Let's commit. That's what's inviting to dinner. It means that okay, our families will know that both of us are together. So that's not settling. That's you going public with that relationship. That's you committing. That's what that dinner offer represents. So Judah has to now come and start telling Soledad, the twins are very picky eaters. They eat only about 4 things, including Judah's mom's mac and cheese. That is the mac and cheese that Judah's mom prepares. That's part of the 4 things the boys eat. So that is not like, okay, maybe I could talk to your mother and she could walk me through the recipe. I'm good at following recipes. I want to at least try to. Judah is surprised. You want to talk to my mother and you want us to come to dinner at your house? She now tells him, I want what you want. A life on our own terms. You understand? She's no longer playing it safe. I love this so much. Judah now asks Soledad what changed. And she now shares that she discovered her mother's journal and her mom's 2 great loves. As far as Soledad is concerned, Judah is her 2 loves in one. She now starts telling him there is no safer place, no one I trust more. You are a harbor, not just for me, but for your boys, for your ex, for anyone you love and who needs here. You are the seed and you are the vine, and I love you, Judah. So he gathers her close. He wants a life with her. She wants him more. I don't know if I want to be married again in that sense. So he just tells her, it doesn't matter to me if it's wrapped in a marriage license or secured by a set of rings that tell people we belong together. We know, and that may look different now than it will when our kids are gone. In my case, my kids may never be gone. I have no idea. So Soledad now tells him, and the way you're committed to them for life is one of the things I love most about you. I'm not going anywhere either. That is commitment, people. Now, Margaret, Judah's mom, does end up giving Soledad recipe via FaceTime until Soledad perfects the recipe on the third try. Dinner night. Lupe is helping out with the table setting. At a point, Soledad is like, oh yeah, Lupe, all of you, go and start dressing up. You cannot be wearing this things here. Lottie has to take a shower because she just came back from gymnastics. She does gymnastics now. And then Soledad confirms to her daughters that, yes, I am dating Judah. And she doesn't ask them, is it okay that I'm dating Judah? Because, see, it's not you people that will tell me I have given people everything and my daughters, I love you. But see, it's my life. It's me that is going to date somebody that I decide is good for me. You don't get to give permission for that. You people know I have loved you and have given myself for you. So I'm not going to ask for that permission. I love this thing so much that she did this thing. It was just so good and so mature. And I'm like, wow, this is a mom that knows herself. And also, her kids deserve a happy mother. So her dating Judah makes her happy. Her daughters are teenagers now. Very soon they will leave the house, go and start living their own lives. So she needs to have somebody. So when she even tells her daughters, hey, I'm dating Judah. And she just looking at them. Their answer is, that's cool, mom. Now and even shock her too. Now Judah, Aaron, Adam, Tremaine, and Tremaine's husband Kent, they all arrive. Her girls, they're already at the stairwell. Already, Soledad did hear from Edward's lawyer about Edward's early release. She plans to inform them later about the son that Edward had with his secretary, Amber. She doesn't trust Edward to be honest or tactful about that thing. Now, Aaron and Adam, they like the mac and cheese, which makes Soledad so happy. Judah is openly affectionate, holding her hand and everything at the table. Lottie, Lupe, and Adam, they play Uno cards. Aaron gives the next a cube, and both of them race. So it's just so nice to see that beautiful interaction among their children. After Tremaine and the twins leave, Judah now pulls Soledad outside to show her something. In 1981 Honda CM400, they talked about it last Christmas, is a bike. He painted the bike purple because Soledad mentioned it's her favorite color, which means he's been listening to her too. They're going to ride on this bike together, and they rode on it together, and she's now telling him, yeah, my prince. But it's not that type of fantasy prince that's coming to save you from something, because she has saved herself. And he doesn't have to awaken her with a kiss. She's wide awake. She's reborn. She's rebirthed through her own fire and pain and work and wisdom. A year later, they're in a hotel in Morocco. It's a vacation, but not really, because the hotel sponsored big creators, big emphasis on big creators, including Soledad, and Judah is her plus one. I find it amazing how Kennedy Ryan, the author of this book, This Could Be Us, never once tells us the number of Soledad's following, but shares the genuine connections. Here in the book, 1 year later, Soledad's hair is short because remember now, they donated it. Her, Lupe, and Deja donated their hair to cancer patients who might need it to make wigs. Kara is in remission as per the cancer. It's very dull. Just like when they say a HIV person has a low viral load. That person can't transmit that HIV at that point. So that's how remission looks like for cancer people. So the impact of what Soledad and her girls did was well received on social media. Now, the hotel villa is secluded and private. So the dad and Judah, they take advantage of it. They have open air lovemaking, baths. Now, for the content Soledad wants to do for the hotel, she begs Judah to let her take a few shots of him. He's really private, so he's never really been on her social media. And she's only ever shown their hands joined or certain angles that don't make him obvious. Her online community have really been supportive, that, oh, okay, she's seeing someone, but she doesn't really want to show the person. Now, he hesitantly agrees to a few shots of him for her social media. This is one thing about dating content creator. Let me hear that you dodge not appearing on the camera. Now, for the summer, that is, the girls are working at Lola's bookstore, her daughters, and that is, instead of working at Greats, that is a restaurant that Yasmin owns with her husband, Josiah. The girls, that is Lupe and Deja, they're instead working at Lola's bookstore. It's the best summer job ever. So dad will call them later because of time difference, where she is right now at Morocco and where her daughters are in the US. The timing, she has to know when they are awake and things like that. Soledad's sister, Lola, the ones that her girls are staying with for the summer, she overheard Soledad's daughters talking. And Soledad, she has already told her daughters since about Edward's baby with Amber. And for her daughters, it was the last straw. Judah also has sour news to share with Soledad. He's actually been keeping tabs on Edward since he got out of prison. There was definitely money FBI didn't get to. And Edward still left the country with it. And he left with Amber and the baby too. Soledad feels so much rich till the end. Edward was just a bad man. She just vows, I'll protect my daughters from this awful man. Judah never even told Calport about the extra money because he's going to tie Edward up with Soledad again, make her life uncomfortable. Let them be going with their wahala and whatever money they think is going to bring them happiness. Let them be going. As for both of them, currently for Judah and Soledad, the way their relationship looks currently, they don't live together. It doesn't even matter what the future holds. All they know is that they're committed to each other because of the whole complications and cool. So this is not a typical Kennedy Ryan story when it ends up with a wedding and kids, It's a case of complicated people. There will be no children. Even if a marriage will happen, we will not get to see that as readers of the novel. Their books, their stories are continuing outside of us. You get? Again, this is not a Christian story, but I really love many of the values. Not all of it, but you get, it's really relatable. There's so much to learn. And it's really been a great pleasure telling this story. I hope you had a great pleasure listening to. And I am looking forward to doing Christian stories this year. I've just been having that urge. And we'll see how God leads us in that direction. So thank you so much. Okay? Thank you for listening, Nibber. I'm going to catch you on Monday with a new story. Is it fantasy? He's going to make you go crazy. All right, I'll see you then. Please don't forget to leave a review, a comment, tell someone about the podcast, repost, reshare. I love you. I really do. Welcome to 2025 once again. It's our year of great help. We've done that. It's also our year, according to prophetic words, it's our year of infallible proofs. God is showing up for us with mighty signs, explosions of miracles, deliverances. This is awesome. I'm excited. I'm hyped for 2025. And I hope you are too. Okay, see ya. Bye.